Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Nathan, how you doing today?
Great.
All right, we got another interesting request. This is from Katherine. Katherine is the patron that gave us a couple Punch Brothers songs. Funny enough, that was a band that you enjoyed more than I enjoyed. And we just did a reaction where it was the flip side, where I enjoyed a song more than Nathan. That's what happens on this channel sometimes. Sometimes we'll just enjoy things differently because that's what makes us different individuals. We can't be a vacuum. We like to be different. It happens naturally is what I'm saying, that we're different, which is good. We have sort of a Punch Brothers reaction to do again from Katherine, Nathan, but it's the lead singer, composer, I guess the band leader, I guess you could say his name is Chris Thile. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but it's Thile with an H. So Chris is performing with an orchestra. So that's kind of cool. So here's the write-up from Katherine regarding this performance. I'm sending you a different Punch Brothers song, but it's not actually performed by the full group. It's just the lead singer, or the lead Chris Thile, with the National Symphony Orchestra.
Sorry, what nation?
It just says the national, probably U.S. then. It's probably because it's performed in the U.S. So good question, though. I presume he's a U.S. artist. It's probably a U.S. group called the National Symphony Orchestra. That's the name of this organization. This is an orchestral arrangement of their song Julep, which is probably one of the band's most awarded and beloved songs. Okay. She goes on to say it's a very sweet song about when Chris met his wife for the first time.
Oh.
I died happy in my sleep. I died happy in my sleep.
I guess the crowd knew right away with the song.
Children around and you looking down from heaven's a julep on the porch. Heaven's a julep on the porch. You and me rocking the grandfather clock is tick tick talking to the time we used to wind it. She brought the sugar and the mint. She brought the sugar and the mint. And he brought the whiskey. Asked for my blessing. Yes, sir, I know she's heaven's a julep on the porch. Heaven's a julep on the porch. You and me rocking the grandfather clock is tick tick talking to the time we used to wind it. Got the time we used to wind died happy in my sleep. Our children around and you're looking down from heavens. A julep on the porch. Heavens, a julep on the porch. You and me rocking a grandfather clock is tick, 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 talking to the time we used to wind it. By the time we used to wind it. Oh, it's tick, 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 talking to the time we used to wind it.
As I get older, I mean, 15-year-old Ryan might have been bored to tears listening to this because we're teenage boys, right? It just would have been like, I love symphony sounding music. Like, again, as a teenager, I mean, Rocky soundtrack, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I used to buy these soundtracks on CD and I would listen to symphony. So I was never opposed to symphony music, but usually it was musical scores. Of course, now Lord of the Rings. And you hear musical scores, I just love them. Braveheart was one I bought. I say that because I do have a great love and affinity for the orchestra sound when it's, you know, music that I know or I have a connection with. So I love a good symphony. And I actually had Beethoven as well. I listened to Beethoven, believe it or not, as a teenager. I had a Beethoven CD.
Wow.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Which helped me study. I used to listen to Beethoven as a teenager. Believe it or not, I used to study every now and then or do my homework. I listened to Beethoven because it was keep me focused without, you can't have lyrics because I have to listen to the lyrics. So it has to, you get the point. Okay.
I was saying.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. Just helps them focus. Okay. I say all that because I love the sound of the orchestra. So I'm not familiar with the song, but this is a beautiful composition. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because I don't want to, this is where I don't know if I like Punch Brothers a lot. I appreciate their talent. That's the thing is I can say it 100,000 times. If I look at a painting, I can't paint, but I can look at a painting and someone could tell me that's worth $2 million. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can see the guy can paint or the person can paint, but I'm not going to buy it. You know, like it's not my thing, whatever that look is, or but people say, no, you don't understand the strokes they had to use and the color combinations and the different paintbrushes and the overlay and they had to wait here and do the okay, again, I get that they can paint. I'm not denying that they can paint, but
I'm not going to spend $2 million.
But yeah, the painting doesn't interest me or I don't want it on my wall. So this is how I feel about Punch Brothers. And I feel bad because I know we have patrons that really want to drive their artists that they enjoy to us. But I have to be honest, this is my 3 strikes. So the symphony part of it, the orchestra, I was enjoying that more. Like, oh, it's a beautiful composition of just the symphony sounds, the horns, the violins. I just, it feels so peaceful. And not to say that Chris's singing was fine. And his mandolin playing, he's an excellent mandolin player. And I love the mandolin. When the mandolin was used with Led Zeppelin or REM, I love it. But when he plays it, I guess it's so complicated and so whatever. It's hard for me to feel emotional about it. So though I recognize logically that he is good at what he does. I understand this. It doesn't resonate with me. And then I feel bad that it's not resonating. I'm trying so hard because this is a patron who wants us to feel something. I'm having a hard time. The composition, I get it's complicated. It's a job well done. I'm not feeling spiritual about it.
I think I 100% agree with you on this one. And what some of our patrons here are saying in the chat are things that I was thinking as well. I felt like there was something missing. And I think the part of it that was missing is we're not as big of fans of this band to feel the something that goes with this song. Like if we knew that song, if that was a song that we knew and we liked, right, the original, then hearing it performed by an orchestra would enrich it and make us feel like, oh, that's cool how they interpreted that sound. It's a 2-for-1 here. We don't know the original, so hearing the orchestra, it'd be like, let's take a U2 song that you and I really love. I've actually heard that where an orchestra plays a U2 song, and then you're kind of like, oh, that's cool how they did that thing, because I know the song. The part that was missing here is I just don't know the song at all, and so there were some times when he was vocalizing and even playing that it just felt like a mismatch to the orchestra. I felt like there was parts of the band that were missing out of it that didn't quite fill in the gaps there. Everything that you said is spot on. I agree with all of it. I think I've made the comparison. He sometimes reminds me of Sufjan Stevens in some of the approaches to music. Yeah. But the thing about Sufjan is I get the emotional connection pretty strong. We've even said we'd love to come back and do more Sufjan because I think we're connected somehow.
Yeah, somehow he made us connect. And this is not a slight on Chris, because I'm sure he's a wonderful... He has his fans. Catherine's one of them, right? Like, we're not denying the fans or his talent, but it's just weird how things will connect with a public or a person, and some things don't.
Yeah,
it's weird, Nathan. It's weird because I love the mandolin. I love bluegrass. I love that stuff. But I would always have to show Katherine a bluegrass song that I'm talking about, like just the mandolin being used in an REM song. Go listen to "Losing My Religion," for example. There's a great, very popular example of the mandolin being used in a song where the sound is perfect. The instruments used in a spiritual, moving, toe tapping way. Like, I admit,
Battle of Evermore, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. I love the mandolin. I love it. I love bluegrass. I love folk music. I love these things. But for some reason, a very talented band in their own right. I'll use Rush. I use it again. Rush is a band that I recognize has millions of fans. They're a legacy. They're huge. People will say this is the best band. People will say this is the best band that ever existed. I get it. I also don't get them. I've listened to them enough to know that they don't resonate with me. I'm a very spiritual person, believe it or not. So when I don't feel the emotion of something, I don't feel it. And I was really trying. We're trying to be respectful of the request and of the artist and the fans of the artist, but we're just being honest too, which I think is really the biggest part of our channel, is that we're honest.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed our breakdown of that, or if you didn't like it, that's fine. But if you like to see what we do here on this channel, then stick around. We got lots more. You can always like the video if you liked our explanation. We'll see you on the next one.